Jessup, Georgia, a rural town of a little more than 9,000 people, where a quaint town square offers visitors a warm Jessup welcome around every corner. But just a few miles from here, where this so-called Mayberry surrenders to dirt roads and humble trailer homes, a terrible thing happened, with some hearing echoes from a deep South past. The killing of a little black boy, Noah Bush, just 8 years old.
The body of water in which Noah Bush was found.
The boy's family demanding justice.
There is no peace, there is no comfort, there is no closure for me.
His killer, a white boy, not much older, 11, who drowned Noah in a flooded sand pit. Drawing to the fore old divisions of race and class, and begging the question, what is justice when kids kill? Noah's mother, Demetrius Bush, recalling the night her boy went missing.
Noah wouldn't be outside in the dark. Something's wrong if it's dark and he's not home.
It took a search party to find Noah's body. The sheriff's department initially said they didn't suspect foul play in his death, according to NBC affiliate First Coast News. Then, 55 long days of protest, ending with his killer's arrest and confession of pushing Noah into a flooded pit and holding his head under the water, according to prosecutors, and conviction for simple battery, involuntary manslaughter, concealing the death of another, and criminal trespassing. Another boy, 10 years old, was also convicted of the lesser charges.
Why do you think they didn't jump immediately and start asking the question that you're asking? What is it?
Because he was a little black boy.
Pretty much.
His life didn't matter to them the way it mattered to us.
Beyond justice delayed, questions about accountability.
So we want full
Justice and accountability for anybody that was involved before, during, and after.
The boys, whose names haven't been publicly released because they're juveniles, were sentenced to the maximum allowed under Georgia law, given their ages, 2 years confinement in a juvenile detention center.
And we don't feel like that has been investigated thoroughly enough by the Sheriff's Department.
Mawuli Davis, the Bush family's attorney, thinks the justice system needs to hold others accountable too.
The continued fight for what we have described as full justice requires that the adults that we believe were involved in some way, either before or after, they have to be fully prosecuted.
The Wayne County Sheriff's Department has said their earlier statement suggesting Noah's death was an accident was based on an initial autopsy, then changing their finding, quote, due to information discovered during their investigation. We reached out to the Wayne County Sheriff's Department for further comment. Their response? This case has been sealed by the courts and judge. No one will be making a statement or an interview. We also sent multiple emails to Wayne County District Attorney Keith Higgins, who did not respond. The mother of the 11-year-old who was convicted in the killing is currently behind bars, accused of making false statements to police, a felony, during the initial investigation into Noah's death. The court clerk says she has not entered a plea. We reached out to her public defender for comment, but have not heard back. Bush family supporters believe the killing could have been racially motivated. To them, the killing of a black boy at the hands of a white boy brings to mind this area's history, a recent history, of racism bleeding into violence. Just 45 minutes away, 3 men, including a father and son, murdered black jogger Ahmaud Arbery in a hate crime. And a recent multi-county federal sting rounded up drug-dealing white supremacists, the ghost-faced gangsters that stretched across southeast Georgia.
Do you believe that this is a possible hate crime?
Absolutely. We're not equipped to dig like that, but the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, they are, and we would hope that they will get involved and see this as something larger than just a single isolated incident of foul play between some children.
The FBI's Atlanta office said it cannot confirm nor deny the presence or lack thereof of any investigation. Shortly before Noah was killed, his family says troubling signs began to appear, including this photo they took of a noose hanging from a tree in their yard. Supporters of the family also say they provided authorities with an undated video appearing to show Bush's 11-year-old killer using what sounds to be a racial slur while fighting with his black cousin. In a direct message on Facebook, the live-in boyfriend of the boy's mother denies the incident seen in the video was hateful, saying they were, quote, playing around, just like all little boys do. Also telling NBC News that race played no role in Noah's death, saying in part, most of the stuff they're saying about them kids is wrong, and there was not one thing or one person racist. That's damn lies.
We didn't feel safe in that area.
The family has since moved away, fearing for their safety and the prospect of one day, sooner than later, being neighbors again with the boys who killed Noah.
We know that the probability of these kids doing a full 2 years in confinement is likely to none.
The possibility of freedom before they're out of puberty, and drawing a debate about what justice even is when juveniles commit unspeakable crimes.
Noah was the light of the house. He was the joy. He was the comedian. And that was all stolen away from us. And then these kids, they get a slap on the wrist, and soon enough, they'll be right back out in the streets doing whatever they want to do.
Sisters Jody Martin and Jana Myers, allies of the Bushes, are calling for justice in their own way. A change to Georgia's juvenile sentencing laws.
So the boys were sentenced to 2 years juvenile detention. Is that justice?
Absolutely not. I mean, 2 years is nothing. And you're going to come right back out and be the same kids.
They've drafted legislation, Noah's Law, calling for young offenders convicted of serious crimes to be sentenced to longer terms.
I think that if parents in this county can be held accountable for truancy, then they should be able to be held accountable for aggravated felonies that their children commit. These kids should be spending the rest of their childhood in a detention center until at least the age of 18.
What role do you think race played in this? If it were, two black boys and a white boy is drowned, do you think that the system would respond differently?
I think it would have been totally different. I think they probably would have been arrested immediately.
But it's exactly that racial disparity that's causing concern. Could these efforts to get justice for a black boy end up harming people who look just like him? Historically, black juvenile offenders have gotten unfair and unequal sentences compared to their white counterparts. And Noah's family's lawyer says they don't see justice in arming the state with additional tools to do more of the same.
One of the things that we know about justice in America and justice in the Deep South, where we reside here in Georgia, is that it is not evenly distributed. And so any call for any enhanced sentencing, we believe will ultimately disproportionately impact black and brown children. And I don't believe that this family wants a law in their son's name that's going to cause greater harm to black mamas and daddies and grandmothers in the way that they have experienced it.
A black boy dead on the wrong side of a dirt road and rusty fence.
What would justice look like to you?
Everybody involved be held accountable. Everybody. That's justice. I mean, and we don't want half justice. We want full.
Whose killing has stirred up ghosts from the past and those still haunting us today. Tremaine Lee, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.